What do the D's mean next to the number size inside boots? It means D's nuts. I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way. Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Thanks for bearing with me during that crude intro. And if it caused some of you to leave, good riddance. But let's get serious. What do the D's mean inside of boots? This is an introductory question for people getting into cowboy boots. So thank you for clicking on this video. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad that you're interested in wearing boots. And honestly, I'm glad that it's something that people are searching for online because it is vital to getting the best fitting boot, especially if that boot doesn't have laces like cowboy boots. So mainly our examples today will be cowboy boots. There's actually many letters that can go next to the foot length size number inside of a boot. And the letters note the foot width size. It can be anything from A to F, depending on the brand. A is the most narrow width and F is the most wide. So that means D is a medium. That's what D means. It means medium width foot size. Some brands will say that D is an average width size, but it's really not. It's medium. In fact, many brands will also just use the letter M to notate that the width size is medium. And the only reason why a brand would say that D width is average is so that they don't have to make the other width sizes, because most people can fit into a D width boot, even if it doesn't fit correctly. But how do you find your foot width size? Well, you use a Brannock device. You get your measurements by putting your foot in the device, sitting down or standing up. There's a huge debate over which you should do, sitting down or standing up, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You find your foot length at the end of your toe. Then you push over the width size bar to the side of your foot. You take the number of your foot length and follow it down to the letter of your foot width. So you can see here, I'm a foot length of 12, and when I find that number on the width bar and follow it down, I can find that I'm a B width. So my true size is a 12B. Make sure you're wearing your favorite socks when you get your foot measured, because it can change what your preferred boot size will be. Also, there are 3 different kinds of Brannock devices, one for men, one for women, and sometimes you can find them for kids as well. So I'm a 12B. A B width is a narrow width size. A, B, and C widths are considered narrower width sizes. D is medium. E is wide. A's and E's can have multiple letters, like a triple A or 3A is more narrow than a double A, which is more narrow than a single A. Triple E or 3E is more wide than a double E, which is more wide than a single E. It's also important to note that no width size is inherently male or female, and anyone that tells you that it is either an idiot or an industry shill. A width size is a width size. That's it. Since I'm a 12B, that's pretty much all I wear. Depending on the brand though, I might size up a half a size or size down a half a size, but it's always a B width. Before I knew what my true size was, I used to wear exclusively D width cowboy boots because that's pretty much the only width size that many cowboy boot brands make nowadays, unfortunately. And when I did that, I had to size down my foot length size to an 11, which works because the boot is wider. The problem I ran into when I was wearing an 11D cowboy boot when I'm a size 12B is pinching at the toes and no arch support. This led to a painful break-in process that I found completely unnecessary when I figured out what my actual size was. I believed common myths about cowboy boots and pull-on boots, like you always have to size down in order to find the right fit, and the break-in process is painful. But that's just the result of the industry being lazy, so they don't have to make more sizes. Some brands and stores will tell you that when they make any width sizes outside of D or double E, they will sit on the shelf and never get purchased. But this is just a poor reflection of their customer service. They aren't measuring customers when they come in to boot shop. If they measured everyone that walked into the store to buy boots, they would move those boots a little bit more quickly. I've measured lots of folks, and it's pretty much even across all width sizes for me, from A to triple E. So if you get measured and you're not a D-width, don't buy a D-width boot. No matter how much the salesperson says it's not that big of a deal, it will be a big deal in a few days, trust me. And at that point, you've worn the boots too much to return them. Whatever your branding device size is, you should try that size. That's the whole point of this device. It reflects what is true to size. That's what that saying means. Is the size true to the branding device? And once you try on a boot that's your size, it should feel snug at the instep, snug at the widest part of the foot, and you should get a little bit of heel slip. It should not feel tight anywhere, especially at the toes. So let's say you get measured at a store, but the store does not carry any boots in your size. Well, don't buy any boots from that store. Customer service is being measured and then fit properly with the right size cowboy boots. Don't go to a store just because they have a bunch of free drinks, allow them to get you drunk, and then sell you a pair of boots that doesn't fit. That's not good customer service. Don't support an industry that quite literally does not support you. You should try a different store, or maybe try to find a pair of vintage boots online. Vintage brands from the 60s to the late 90s made many more widths than they do now because they actually cared. You can go to eBay, search for your size, and try to find a pair of slightly used vintage boots. If you want to see what slightly used cowboy boots look like, I made a video a few years ago about what you can look for. When you try slightly used vintage boots, you can try out a boot that is actually your size for much cheaper than what it would be trying a new boot in your size. Since if you're not a D or a double E, you'll probably have to end up buying these boots online anyways. Around a dozen pair of boots behind me are slightly used vintage boots that I got online, since I can very rarely find my actual size in stores. I actually also prefer how vintage boots were made to how they're making boots now. They're better, they're cheaper, and they have the potential to last longer. So you might find yourself just sticking with the secondhand marketplace for boots altogether. It's seriously awesome. And that's pretty much all I can say about what D means inside of boots. But I want to stress again, if you're not a D-width, don't wear a D-width, no matter what a salesperson or the industry as a whole tells you. Wear your actual size and hold boot companies to a higher standard. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider subscribing. If you're a regular, comment anything I missed below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. When you get the right size, it will open your eyes to how cowboy boots can really feel. Foot width is often overlooked in fit. Get it right for the real deal. Thanks so much for watching. Why don't you check out 5 brands that have all the widths up here. Or I got a music video down here that I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.